responded?
Onward. It's ready for Indiana. We got a great challenge in front of us. You can't dwell on the past. We made our corrections. We had a great practice yesterday, and our focus is on Indiana.
Ryan?
How many quarterbacks are you guys preparing to face on Saturday?
How many do you think we should prepare for? What you see on film. You got to prepare for everything. We don't know. Obviously we have what we think could possibly happen, but we're not going to leave anything uncovered. So we're preparing for everything.
I think 2 weeks ago, Steve said he wanted to see this group generate more turnovers. Are you pleased with where that seems to be trending right now?
You always want one more, one more than whatever you get. For us, if you could average forcing 3 turnovers a game, that's quite a significant number. And but anytime we have an opportunity to make a play on the ball, whether it's in the pass game or the run game, with punch-outs, that's something that we work on diligently every day. Our focus is forcing turnovers and getting the ball back to the offense. So just every opportunity you have, you're always going to want more.
Brandon?
Ron, what do you remember from the 2001 game? You guys, obviously lost in the last seconds, another tight game, I guess, and then you had that controversial call. How did you guys respond after that game?
After we fixed the locker room when Larry Foote destroyed it, we came back. The one thing Coach Carr told us was, kind of the similar approach that Coach Harbaugh has. It's a fighter's mentality. You get punched, you don't lay down on the canvas, you get back up, you keep swinging. And that was our philosophy 20 years ago, and that's our philosophy this week.
How long did it take you guys to get over it, though? Was it
You got the 24-hour rule. It's a 24-hour rule. You got the, win or lose. You got to move on, correct the mistakes, whether you're winning or losing a game or anything you're competing in, and, reshift your focus on what's next, and that's Indiana for us.
Michael?
Ron, earlier this week, Jim said that there were some fits on the back end that could have been improved a little bit on some of the big plays. What have you thought of the angles that the safeties have taken the last couple of weeks, and is that an area that needs to get better?
No, absolutely. It's something that we're working on all the time. Just constantly, try to improve things that we see, show up on film on Saturdays. So that's something that's we're working on.
When a guy struggles with an angle or takes a wrong one, is that because he's too eager to try and get there quickly and make a play, or is it just because they're not reading it right? What do you notice in that regard?
It could be multiple things. It could be, maybe the player didn't see it as quick, or it could just be the ball just got on them faster than they anticipated getting on them. So, like I said, it's one of those things where, in the back half, you got to get it down. That's something that we constantly work on.
Isaiah?
Now that the college football playoff rankings are out, how much do you guys internally pay attention to that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know what they look like. I don't, really don't pay attention to it. I don't think many of us do. We're just so locked in and engaged, with our opponent this week that we can under control. We can control, and we don't even worry about rankings on Sundays. Usually you hear about it, whether the kids talk about it or maybe something you might see on social media scrolling through or something, but I don't think, no one's really talked about it.
From your vantage, Ron, even as a receiver and now from watching from the other side, how do you describe what Andrell Anthony did last week and the progress he's made in practice to get to this point?
Yeah, it's pretty unique, obviously, having a chance to start off with Jarrell. When I was with the receivers briefly, just watching his development from that point in January all the way to now. And, he's a kid that has a great career ahead of himself. And, credit Coach Gaddis for, getting Jarrell to, get to this point where he's at now. And you can see flashes, Jarrell showing up and showed up big on Saturday, and it's something that you hope that he continue to build on.
How closely are you watching or following the high school football playoffs?
A lot, for me, because there's kids that, we're still, kids that we are, recruiting that are in the playoffs. And, for me, obviously, have vested interest in the sense fact that a school, you know, that I came from and opponents and stuff I played against. So, you know, probably me more than anyone else, you know, very familiar with it. It's the life I lived for the last decade. So, but I see it differently than most people do, but I am following.
You guys have anything else for Ron?
A game, I'm sorry.
That's all right, go ahead, Angelique, or Adam, go ahead.
What stands out to you on film when you watch Indiana?
Oh, they play hard. Coach Allen's a phenomenal coach. You know, those guys, they've lost 6 games, and you look at the opponents that they've played and they've lost to, you know, outside of, you know, the Ohio State game, you know, Cincinnati, the Michigan State game, last week against Maryland. They played some, you know, week 1 against Iowa was a tough one for them. They played some formidable opponents, and they've held their own. And like I said, they're dealing with a rash of injuries. But this is a very competitive, good football team, fundamentally sound, tough as nails. Definitely take on the personality of their coach.
A lot was made last week about what impact the game Michigan State has on in-state recruiting. What's the sense you got from players who were at the game and watched that game, and what does that do?
I don't know, for me personally, you know, the kids that from the state of Michigan that have reached out to me, they've all been encouraging, like, go get them next week. You guys still have a chance to, you know, accomplish all your goals. So it's almost like they were rooting for us.